Hi, my name is Jack. I'm with Reynard Custom Homes. This is By Design. It's a podcast that we do today. Alie Sutherland is joining me. Alie, how are you?
I'm doing so good now. How are you?
Great. Let's hope that our recording works out. We had to do this a couple of times now, so thanks for being a good sport.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
So, Alie, you're a project manager over at Reynard Custom Homes. What does that mean? What do you do at Reynard? What is a project manager?
Yeah, so I think, and we've talked about this before, like project manager can take on different definitions depending on, what organization you work for. But for Reynard, the project manager, which is me, I take a more administrative role. So I do behind the scenes work and also work with clients and third parties to communicate. I like to make sure that projects, move in a timely manner. So I definitely have to stay organized with all of our projects and client expectations, and I fix problems. So every design project has its own, a set of issues or kind of hurdles that we ultimately have to deal with. So I definitely try to make sure that questions, concerns, or problems can be always figured out at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like to think of you as the glue at Reynard. A lot of times, oftentimes, you're meeting clients early in the sales process, like as they're evaluating us. You'll meet clients and answer questions for them, kind of on a pre-design basis, and of course, during a project while it's going on, after they become a client. You're really responsible for facilitating a lot of the communication that happens to keep a project moving forward. And then even after we've finished the design, I know a lot of our clients will rely on you to help fill in missing pieces or gaps in the process as a home is getting built. So your role is so important to us, and we're so grateful we were able to bring you on. When did you start? Was it about a year, almost a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it was like February 2023. My LinkedIn always tells me like exactly how long I've worked at
Right.
Reynard. So
It
I
tells
just
everybody
have to
else too.
remember that. Yeah, so coming up on a year and a half soon.
Great. Well, it's been so helpful to have you around, and our clients love working with you. What's your favorite part about your job at Reynard as project manager? What do you love to do the most?
I think just connecting with clients. Every project is different. These goals that clients have are different. And so it's just being able to really connect with people on the things that they value that they're gonna have in their home. So, some people they'll tell you right at the kickoff call, exactly what you're trying to make sure happens for them. So I love connecting and, helping clients in that way.
Yeah, and you get to see, I think you have a really cool perspective. You work with James, our architect, very closely. I know you guys are talking throughout the week about how to best serve our clients. But you have a really neat, unique perspective because you get to see the design develop as it happens. You get to see it go
Yeah.
from idea where Drew and I will go out and see a blank piece of property with nothing built on it quite yet, and you've gotten to see that full process happen into construction.
Yeah.
So, having kind of a close look at the design process, have you gotten any really good ideas for your own dream home? Like anything that you determine is a must-have for your own dream home?
I know. Yeah. And like we had talked about before, I feel like there's at least one thing in every project where I'm just like, I want that. Of
Yeah.
course, that comes with probably me having to win the lottery to make all this happen.
Well, that's what we call it, a dream home. What's
A
your
dream
dream home
home.
look like? Yeah.
Yeah. Realistic dream home. But
Okay.
well, in terms of style, like I do
Yeah.
like traditional, kind of historical. I had told you before I grew up on Amelia Island where there's a huge downtown scene where all of these really historical, beautiful homes are
Hmm.
kept up with, and they're just beautiful. And so I'd love to go back to that. Just having lived in the mountains for a long time, I
Yeah.
I still go back to that sort of style. But I mean, I think it's it's really what clients want to use their home for. So I like to host and have guests, and so I want to make sure that our future dream home is really accommodating to having guests and hosting
Yeah.
and just making people feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, that way we can spend our company get-togethers over at the Sutherland
Yeah,
residence
yeah.
with your barbecue and your big pool and your outdoor entertaining. Like,
Yes, exactly. Yes, the pool is a must, and I think yeah, once our son is older, that'll be good. He's a little
yeah,
young, so it's like nervous, it makes me nervous, but oh yeah, one day I really hope we have a pool.
yeah, it'd be great. And I think it will happen. There comes a time in life where you get to bring all that creativity and passion and everything that you've been observing into a project. We're getting to do that with your sister-in-law, Kaylin, and her husband right now, who's your brother. They
Yes.
started designing their dream home, so maybe you can grab some ideas from their process as well.
I know, probably will, honestly, because I've been following in Philip's footsteps for a long time, so just always
Time
wanting
to,
to do what he did, so I could see that happening,
oh boy, we have a whole different conversation about family
yeah.
dynamics. We'll save for
Yeah.
another day.
Another day.
One of the things I want to talk about too that I'm really excited about is in the year and a half since you joined us, you started I guess I'll call it an advocacy group. And maybe you can tell me a little bit more about it, but um, an endeavor called Prevention Starts with Parents. And I've been seeing your stories on Facebook, your videos, follow your page. So I know this is a lot of people will call these things passion projects because it's something that you just put so much unprompted effort into. So tell me about Prevention Starts with Parents. What made you want to start working on that?
Yeah, so Prevention Starts with Parents is, as of last fall, it became an actual LLC. But
All
it
right.
definitely started off as something I'm just super passionate about.
Yeah.
But basically, the company exists to instill confidence in parents and caregivers, to equip them with both the knowledge and sort of confidence and resources to protect children from sexual abuse. So, where the resources come in, I create resources that Prevention Starts with Parents offers for free, and I partner with other experts to bring information and education to parents.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know that's a little bit of your background too. You worked in forensics. You worked in situations where you advocated for children who are victims in various circumstances. So, what are some of the things what are some of the tools that you're trying to provide for adults, caregivers, parents, aunts, uncles? Like, what are some of
Yeah.
the tools that you want to help people have?
Yeah, so throughout some of my positions, like before I started at Reynard, I was working in sort of like that child welfare advocacy, doing forensic interviews, that whole side of things. And so there was a lot of parents that I feel like, or just people that are raising children, that felt really blindsided, of course, if they found out that a child in their life was being sexually abused. And uh, they had questions like, how did I not know? How did I not see that this was happening? Why didn't my child tell me? And there's a lot of different reasons for that, but a lot of it can go back to mitigating, that can go back to parents being educated so much that they can communicate to their children about prevention tools. So, because of that, I've created basically their guides almost. All of my guides are free. Some of them
Cool.
address, like one of them, the W method, is what to do if a child tells you that something has happened. Or I've partnered with Catfish Cops to make some resources that are specific to internet crimes against children. So, like,
Yeah.
what are internet crimes against children? How to talk to your kids about them, because that's such a huge issue now.
Hmm.
And then I made a workbook that parents get to do with their child. So it really helps sort of bring all of it together so that neither the parent or the child has to feel awkward
Yeah.
about trying to prevent child sexual abuse.
Well, parents that are my age did not grow up with the internet. They, at least for me, I became aware and involved with the internet when I was a teenager. So, um, children today, like my son, are introduced to it much earlier. So, I think it's really hard sometimes for parents to know, like, how do they, because it's not the same experience they had growing up. So
Right.
they've got to kind of rethink their strategy around internet safety, and stranger safety, those types of things. So,
Hmm.
what kind of ideas have you come up with for facilitating better conversations for parents that are trying to talk to their kids about internet safety, for example?
Oh, yeah. That's a great question. What we always, people that work in this field will always say, like, communication is going to be the best thing because ultimately you want to talk to your kids about things that they might be exposed to versus someone their own age or someone that we would not trust with, that privilege to protect kids. So definitely you as the parent need to kind of put in the research first. Like, you have to understand, what apps do kids get on? What are they doing on the internet? Specifically, your child. What are their interests? Like, are they
Yeah.
interested in video games? Are they interested in trying to make friends online? Or
Yeah.
trying to do both of, like, general research, but also specific to your child, and then talk about it. Like, in one of our guides, it's about getting in there with your kid and being like, if you want this app, like, do you know how to use it? Show me how you use it. So it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
about coming alongside your kid and not just being like, well, this is what you don't do.
Right.
Because kids are probably going to do it. And you'd rather understand what they're doing online and make sure they feel like they could tell you when they do something they're not supposed to.
Man, I love that approach. It's the first habit of habits of highly effective people is start with understanding. Seek first to understand, or seek first to listen, then to be understood. And I think that goes for parenting. It goes for a custom home project. It goes for a lot of things. And I think that's awesome. What you're doing is teaching parents. Hey, these conversations can be awkward. Nobody really knows how to have them,
Yeah,
but it's better to have them and come from a place of understanding and a place of connection than in a place of shame or darkness. So, I think the
absolutely.
better that you and I have conversations like this and make people feel more and more open and comfortable about addressing it, it just goes a really long way. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm proud of the work that you're doing to help parents care for their kids to that degree. That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've told you, like, probably 1,000 times. Actually, working at Reynard was kind of one of the catalysts for me thinking that it didn't just have to be like a project.
Yeah.
That it was just, oh, I just can maybe do it. Like, working at Reynard, actually, and seeing what happens with clients' projects and seeing how Reynard has developed was seriously really eye-opening for me, and just being like, just take a risk and make something and put it out there, and people will benefit from it, especially kids and families.
Well, you are married, but your husband spends a lot of time on deployment in the army. So a lot of times you're raising your child Charlie. How old is he now? 3? Is
He'll
Charlie
be
3?
3 next month. Yeah.
Next month, though, so close.
Yeah.
So, young woman raising her child with some help, but largely by yourself, and our project manager at Reynard, and you still find time to devote toward helping people who are concerned about this, about preventing abuse, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds weird to be like, it's fun for me, but it really is because it feels like there's always value attached to it. Like, even if it just helps one kid, like it was
Yeah,
worth it. So, yeah,
absolutely.
totally. But I always, I know I've told you this, but it's like, Raynard's my real job, and I have to always put, if we're talking about professional stuff, I put Reynard first. And then, when I'm hanging out at night or on the weekends and I have extra time, like I can put it towards prevention starts with parents. So,
Well, what we like is that we've been able to create a work environment which you're able to get a lot of work done, take care of our clients, um, take care of each other, and that we get to fulfill our purpose in more than one way. So
right.
I love that. It's been inspiring for me um, to like you said, it's taking a risk sometimes, and it's easy to overthink or come up with lots of reasons not to do something.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of times it's just the difference between taking action or not.
Yeah, definitely.
So Allie, if anybody wants to get involved with prevention starts with parents, or they care about the cause, they care about what you're doing, what's the way they could support the cause or support the outcomes that you're trying to create?
Yeah, so I think the first step, especially if are you're kind of having thoughts running through your head and you're like, of course I want to protect kids. Definitely just accepting that this is the reality of
Yeah,
the world that we live in. Like children are vulnerable, and it's up to safe people, whether you're a parent or not, to
yeah,
learn how to protect kids. And I just think parents have such a privilege, and they're in a unique position to, of course, protect children. So, you can start with the free resources that I have on the Prevention Starts with Parents website.
yeah,
Um, they're free for download, and it's just a good place to get started. But also, the workbook is available for purchase, and I use that money to put back into making more free resources, which is exciting. So, those are two ways, but also getting connected with your local community. Like, change is really going to happen within households, and change is going to happen when we come together as small communities, whether you live in a big city or rural area, like many
yeah.
of the places we work in North Georgia and
Mhm.
build homes, and just try to get involved with organizations that serve children and families every day.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure that all the links to, I know you're on social, so I'll include your social media links, and I think you have a homepage that people can get some resources from. I know you have a workbook that you've been making available, which is exciting, and a lot of free resources. So, Allie, thank you so much for just working so hard for something that really matters. It's you're making an impact, and we see that, and so we're just really proud of you. Thank you for working so hard for our clients. What do you want to say to all of Reynard's clients, or all of people who are just curious about Reynard? Why would they want to work with us? What would be
Oh,
exciting about
yeah.
working with Reynard?
I mean, obviously we're the best, but if I had to give a specific reason, I think what I've seen successful with clients is that we work with them. So we always let clients know, like, you are a part of the team now. You don't have your own team and you're not a part of it. You come in with us to work through the whole design process. And clients really love that because they don't feel uh, like they're just waiting for stuff to happen. I think they're
Yeah,
really a part of the process. And just being able to add in, realistic expectations and expertise that we have to still make what clients want happen, like the best that we can. So some places it won't feel that way. It's more we have this process and it has to look this way. And we really try to make sure it's an exciting experience for clients, and they feel like they're getting their dream home best they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for facilitating there's so much nuanced conversation and so much research and phone calls and late night texts and messages on the project boards that good communication and good team experience doesn't just happen. It really has to take people who are organized, who care, and who are focused on the end, that actually understand the process enough to know what we're trying to do. So thank you for being such a huge part of that team for us at Reynard, so that people can get those dream homes built. And we're seeing them getting built right now, and it's been very exciting. I know you probably feel a lot of personal satisfaction because you were really close to some of these clients who are like Gentry and the Merritts and R.C. Robinson, people whose homes are under construction right now. So thank you for all your hard work, Alie.
I know. Yeah. I mean, they make it easier because I feel like even half the time, sometimes when we'd be on the phone or on calls, we're talking about the project, but we're also just like talking about life, and it goes deeper than just the what's next on the list. So
building
I love all
good
of our
community is
clients.
important. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think it is a business, but I don't think a successful home gets built without a sense of community and a sense of people coming around it that commonly want the same type of community to happen around each individual home. That's supremely important. And we see that value in the work that you do, Alie. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. I know. I think
Well,
that's
this was really
important for
fun.
our clients. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah,
Yeah, just a lot of our clients' stories are based on what it's going to look like for their family to live there, whether it's their
yeah,
immediate family or people coming to visit, and parties and holidays
yeah.
that are, really important to our clients. So it's a process, but we always get there, but it's a
We do.
process.
We do. And we got a lot of new exciting projects coming up that are just getting started.
I know. There's got a big old list, so it's really exciting. And they're all really different right now. Like,
I know. I was just thinking about
they're,
that too.
yeah, it's cool. It's exciting.
Well, I can't wait to talk about some more of them. I think we'll do this often where maybe we just talk about projects and talk about things that are happening. And spoke with Drew Vanderbrook about that yesterday. We might bring him
Oh,
into
sweet.
these conversations.
Yeah, I love it.
Or
Do
we'll
it.
just start a Portlandia fan podcast and it'll just take a turn.
I feel like we could get a big following for that now that it's like they don't make new episodes. So if they're like
I
us,
kind of
other
feel like
things,
there's a niche out there for it.
oh, 100%.
Well, thank you, Alie. We'll be connecting again soon, and we'll get another one of these episodes recorded. But until then, check out the notes. Follow Alie Sutherland's company. Prevention Starts with Parents. Very easy to find, but if you'll follow those links, you'll find some really good resources, and especially for parents and just anybody who's talking to children or around children in any kind of way, and want some more resources. Allie's been doing some really meaningful work there. So thank you, Alie. Thanks for joining me today on By Design. I'll talk to you again
Yeah.
real soon.
See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Stopping.